Welcome, this is episode 2 and it's transforming your Squarespace sites with CSS backgrounds. So let's have a look at an example of what's possible. This is Cafe Arabica, a Squarespace template that I've designed. And it's not the best looking website in the world, but it's certainly not that bad. And you'll see that it's a differentiated, it doesn't look like a Squarespace site because of the background image there and the background images in here. And I'm going to show you exactly how you can do many things with different background images and differentiate your Squarespace websites. So to get a background image to show on the body, so we've got the full height to work with, we need to remove the background image on two elements first, and this is going to show you a little bit more context. So we've got the body in the background, then we've got the site border class, and then we've got the site background. And we want to remove both the site border and the background color so we can see the background on the body. We go into our custom CSS, it's accessed by / and typing CSS. I've got that in a future tutorial. Watch out for that. So this is all the CSS we need to get this background color to show here. And I've just got a site wrapper, which is like the parent element that encompasses all of the other HTML. And we've got a linear gradient red, you'll see the red there, and then it goes down to green. So that's just a straightforward example, but this is the important part here, the section border and the section background. If we were to take this CSS out, you will see what happens by default. We have got the white background. So to remove that white background, we need to put this CSS in here. And we've got the section border, and it's very important to note that that's a comma there, and that is two selectors for this CSS property here, background transparent. But once you do that, you can do a lot of things in the background, such as images, as I'm going to show you. Now this code is in full on the Media Surgery website, so check that out for full examples. So as you can see, what I've done in this example, I've got a gradient from there, from the bottom to the top. You can see the gradient working there, and there's also a grain through this. It just adds a little bit something else to it. So that is a background image combined with a gradient there. And if I was to take out this URL, that's the long part there, and you'll see that there's very little CSS there, and it's just transformed that page into something that looks a lot different, you know, from the white. So it's this background URL, then you put the path into the background image, and the comma there, linear gradient, 126 degrees is just the angle of the gradient, white 0, and then there's the kind of creamy, the kind of orangey creamy color there. And that's all there is to that, and it just looks a lot different. And there's so many possibilities with background images and images and gradients using in CSS. So hopefully you can see that example and modify your own stuff to get some really good looking stuff, sites and Squarespace sites. So let's say we want to, we've put a background image on the body or the site wrapper element. Let's say we want to put a background image on this section. So we right click on the section and go inspect, and we want to get the section ID. So if we scroll down or scroll up, and we see here that you can see if I hover over that, in the background it goes blue, so that's the right section. We want to get the section ID here, so it's data section ID. So we copy and paste that, put that into our CSS. I will need to enclose that in square brackets because it's a data attribute. And then if we just simply copy and paste this code from the site wrapper, and if we change the white to red so we can see the difference, and you will see there that that is immediately applied that in Squarespace, and you can target pretty much any element on the whole page or in the whole Squarespace site and using a background image. And that doesn't look particularly great at all. It's just an example, but think of the possibilities you can do with simply the grain and also the background color or the background gradient as I've shown there. So let's go one step further. Let's say we want to style the background color of this our new location. So we right click on there, and again inspect, and we see we've got it's in the same data section ID, and you can see that if you hover over that in the background it goes blue. So let's go down here, and we've got the div class of SQS shape or SQS shape rectangle. So let's go and target that in CSS and put some more background properties on that. So we just copy and paste this, which is for the parent section. Copy and paste that. And if we took dot for class, which we saw in the HTML, it's a class, so SQS shape. And this time we can put, let's say, make this blue. Doesn't look good, but it just shows an example. And there we go. So we've got the parent element, the data section is a background color and gradient on there, and there's also on the child, the SQS shape, we've got the background on there. Now, I'm not saying that you should go and put background images and gradients on every single element, far from it, but I'm sure you can imagine the possibilities of using this CSS. It's quite straightforward to use, and you really can start differentiating your Squarespace sites, because that for me is one of the big problems with Squarespace sites. They've got many templates, but they do look quite similar. So this is going to help you just style your Squarespace sites slightly differently, and it's really powerful, the simple CSS that we can apply. So I hope you can see some of the potential with background images and gradients and flat colors as well. The possibilities are endless when you start getting into this stuff. So that concludes this episode. In one of my next videos, I'm going to cover why you shouldn't be designing in Squarespace, and I'll explain that in full in a future video. So thanks for watching, and talk soon. Visit mediasurgery.co.uk for full videos and full code examples.